Anything is like any system can be looked at that. This is the thing, black box, which is transfer function or dynamics. This one state space equation, and then from the certain conditions you want to drive from initial conditions to the final conditions. And then there are variables you can change, voltages, you can change certain things, heat, temperature, you can change and drive from this condition to that condition. That is a look at any system like that. It can be anything, educational system also. Students are coming like this, they are going out like this, they have sit like this, and there is a particular academic curriculum. You can drive like this, there are examination processes like this, and you are driving from this state, what they know now, to that state, what you know. You want to drive it the best possible way. The teachers are giving the inputs, the knowledge, the library is giving the inputs, but there are constraints. There are constraints. There are always constraints. That the lab is not available, this is not available, the book is not available. There will be always constraints, but you are trying to drive from one state to another. This can be, I challenge you, take it anything, including philosophy, thing like that kind of thing. These were called at that time by Bertalanffy as cybernetic system. Cybernetic means really driving, steering from one state to another. And this discipline attracted me. That why I want to look at a particular circuit, a particular like that kind of thing. I can look at the whole thing as a system. So I decided that I will do my PhD in systems theory, systems engineering, and I want to study that. This gave me a lot of fascination, the system modeling, how to model the systems, what are the constraints, how to optimally drive them with the minimum energy, minimum time, all those kind of things, which is a complete discipline which was being developed at that time. Not many people in the IIT studied that discipline, but I was very fascinated because there was a professor who put this thing in my perspective. This is interesting, but this was fully mathematics based. It was maths based, and most people shudder from engineering. People shudder as soon as maths comes. People are frightened. Like nothing. So I decided that I not study set theory, set theoretical concept because not introduced at that time. There was no set theory. Now it's in the school syllabus. So I decided I will start from set theory and start learning set theory. And then this one. This gave me more fascination from systems engineering to mathematics. I thought, because then finally everything resulted into mathematics. Mathematical forms, mathematical equations, and then mathematical equations like algebraic equations, differential equations, partial differential. I never studied partial differential equations, boundary value problems, integral equations, and result into functional equations, which can be just described like actually movement from a space in abstract spaces, which you might have studied, like Banach space or Hilbert space. Whole systems become like a point, like a thing. You are trying to drive that point from one point to another point in a multi-dimensional space, in infinite dimensional spaces. And I wanted to study that, how finally was fascinated that finally all these things, physical things, are just nothing but some sort of a trajectories. You are moving from one point to another in abstract space. Whether it's a vehicle dynamics, whether it's a biological system, you are just trying to drive that. So I started studying all those functional equations and these things. And at that time, my teacher, my guide, wondering what is he doing really, thing like that. He's talking mathematics, and he said, he told me one thing: I am not working in this area. You decided to choose this topic. I will not be responsible, but I don't want to curb your thinking. Means I can constrain because I not this one. You study. I will encourage you. Wherever possible, I will guide you, all this kind of thing. Because I have seen this in US, and people have moved to this one. You get an IEEE paper, most of the people will not understand IEEE because they are written in this abstract language. You go to any IEEE paper, because you don't get accepted just because you are not gone the rigorous mathematical rigor. It doesn't have. So I started studying that. At the time it came that nobody could teach me certain things at that time. So I went to mathematics department, and they started that. They said they are also not exposed to this multidimensional spaces and abstract functional analysis, all that kind of. So I decided to learn that. Professor Subramaniam Swamy was there at that time, economics. He had just come from Harvard, and he was a professor. He used to use modeling, and he also encouraged me that study them. But so much so that I studied mathematics in functional equations, and then they said the mathematics professor, head of the department, told me, no, why don't you teach mathematics in the mathematics department? So I started teaching mathematics because nobody was studying that, and it was a great joy that to teach in the Department of Mathematics. Of course, engineering people never value mathematics so much in a sense. This was the change which occurred in me. But this was extremely important in my life, extremely important. This one, the orientation. Today, when the General Motors comes here, General Electric comes here, Jack Welch comes here, and then want to recruit people in for automotive or some electronics or some computers, they ask mathematically, what is your mathematical rigor? You ask at math-based engineering. Engineers are not supposed to be just doing it, but it's a maths-based engineering. The breakthroughs are coming from at fundamental level. The innovation idea comes from really fundamentally. If you really look at that, all the transforms or the multimedia or the Fourier transforms or the mobile communication, we take it for granted it happens. But there is a mathematics. Amazing. The DSL technology comes from purely mathematics. You just process the same signal on the same wires, and that mathematics makes it available that you can transmit so much of broadband signals on a same copper wire which could only transmit voice. It is not a wonder of technology, it is a wonder of mathematics and computers which can process that, DSPs, all that kind of thing. So that what I learned in the PhD. I had almost decided that now I will go into mathematics and abstract mathematics, and at that time, I must say at this time, I was corresponding on one system problem which I had taken, which was, do the materials have memories? This problem led me to, do the systems have memory? Like humans have memory, past effects and all these kind of things. What is called in human life also, that we are sanskaras, we have materials also have that. That is the thing fascinated me. And what fascinated me about it, that all interesting phenomena of the nature have this effect called non-local effects, which is known in quantum mechanics. At that time, quantum physics was a non-local phenomenon. Why the quantum effects really come at that small level is the non-local. Then I discovered that all interesting phenomena of the nature are really non-local. Their behavior cannot be described by simple differential equation. They are not just local behaviors. So this phenomena attracted me. Why radiative transfer? Why nuclear reaction? Why blood flow? Why this and the eye processing? Why all this kind of thing really which helped me? Everything is non-local. But you see fascinating thing about in nature, including the shock waves in the aeroplane, all that kind of what you can go examples and examples. I've written a paper on that. All interesting phenomena of the nature are really non-local. Never did I know that one day this will come as a nanoscience and nanotechnology. This was really that why materials behave entirely differently at 100 nanometer level from this kind of thing. Suddenly there is a discontinuity of behavior, and that was because of the non-local behavior. And I was actually now developing mathematics, studying for mathematics. There were some professors from Princeton who were working in this area. I used to correspond with them, and at that time there was no internet. You send a paper and then you get a reply, and somebody sends a reprint, such a joy. You open that reprint and see, because there was no access to this one, and some journals come after several months. So I was working in that area. I was about to go for postdoctoral to Princeton or some of the universities like that, and which is at that time, one thing happened, that Mrs. Gandhi took a decision that like our Atomic Energy Commission, like our Space Commission, which are Electronics Commission, that electronics, Dr. Bhabha had impressed later on Vikram Sarabhai that there should be electronics, which was very important. We must really create highest body, and Vikram Sarabhai would be the chair of that, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. And they were trying to recruit the core teams, and they came of course to IITs, that let's go to IITs. And my professors nominated me, that they wanted 2-3 guys and nominated me, and I was called for a discussion. I said, I have nothing to do with electronics. I would almost become to abstract mathematics and systems, and I'm thinking of that. But my professor had said, no, at least I committed that you are the person from my side I'm nominating. And I went somehow reluctantly for that interview, for discussions, and they decided that I should be a part of the Electronics Commission, that group, first core group, and that changed my life. The only thing that professor, when he recruited me, he